Good morning, children. Now this is ninth class social studies. What is that lesson? Sixth lesson, agriculture in India. So we already discussed many points in this lesson in the previous classes, children. Now I want to explain once again this same lesson. So here in this lesson, what we discussed types of farming. Okay, children. So what kinds of farming are there here? Two types are there in farming. First one is subsistence farming. Second one is commercial farming. In subsistence farming, again two types. What are the two types? Simple subsistence and intensive subsistence. Simple subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming. Okay, children. On those days, people used to farming podu. Okay, shifting cultivation. After some years passed, what happened? They started farming in a particular place. They did not move from one place to another place. Okay, children. So they developed in farming activities also. We implemented many machinery for the production of cultivation activities. Okay, children. Next one, commercial farming. So commercial farming, what we did? So we introduced high yielding varieties. That means seeds. Okay, when we introduced high yielding variety seeds, we yield more product than before. Okay, children. So that more product is using for growing population of our country. Okay, children. Next to what we discussed here, crop seasons. What kinds of crops are there? Okay, three crop seasons are there in India: Rabi season, Kharif season, and Jair. What are that? Rabi season, Kharif season, and Jair. So Rabi season, winter season. Most famous crop is growing in Rabi season. Wheat. What is that? Wheat. Kharif season. So in Kharif season, the famous crop growing is paddy. What is that? Paddy. Next, children, this is summer season. Jair means summer season. So in this season, most of the farmers growing what kind of crops? Watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, etc. Okay, watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, etc. children. Okay, children. Next, children, major crops. What are the major crops growing in our country? Many crops are there. Among them, paddy is occupied first place. Next to wheat, maize, millets, pulses. I said about pulses: red gram, black gram, green gram, horse gram. Okay, children, Bengal gram, etc. So these are all pulses, children. They are also very nutritious food to our country people, especially rain-fed crops. These are next one. At dry lands, we are cultivating these pulses in our country. So water is may not use compare with more water compared with to banana plantation, paddy, sugarcane plantations, etc. Okay, children. Next one, non-food crops also there. So what are the non-food crops here? Rubber fiber crops. For example, jute. Okay, children. So next one, after independence, we developed our agriculture in 3 pages, children. How many pages? 3 pages. Actually, before independence, we faced many trouble. Our country faced many famines. To avoid the famines, our Indian government launched 5 years plans. In the first 5 years plan, we developed agricultural activities. So in this way, we constructed many dams across the rivers. We stored the water in reservoirs. Okay, children. So this water is using for remaining months, not in rainy months. Remaining months, after rainy months, we are using this water to irrigate our lands. Through irrigation, we produced many food grains and also remaining crops in our country. Okay, children. So here in the first phase, we constructed dams: Hirakud Dam, Nagarjuna Sagar project, Bakranangal project, Damodar Valley project. Okay, children. So these all projects we constructed. Next one, second page. In second page, 1966 to 1990. First page what? 1950 to 1965. Second page what? 1966 to 1990. Third phase what? 1992 at present. But in second phase, what we did? We introduced green revolution in the second phase. When we introduced green revolution, okay, that means high yielding variety seeds. Next to we applied pesticides, chemicals. Next to we irrigated the lands. Next we draw the water from the ground. We set up pump sets with electricity. These pump sets are running. Okay, children. That means we are extracting more groundwater for the purpose of agriculture production in green revolution. Especially this green revolution implemented Punjab and Haryana area. So that's why in Punjab and Haryana the groundwater most of the districts tremendously fallen. Okay, so the scientists said it dangerously the groundwater level decreased in Haryana and Punjab. Okay, so that's why we need to restore the water, recharge the water, groundwater. How we will recharge the groundwater? Through percolation tanks, boulders, contour dams, check dams, contour trenches, etc. So when we construct these check dams, contour trenches, check next to percolation tanks, then we will restore the groundwater. Okay, but unfortunately in our country many people unaware about these percolation tanks and groundwater check dams, etc. because they gave deaf ear to these all precautions. Why? Because they are not alarmed about the groundwater, but we are using groundwater every day, okay, through pump sets. Okay, children. Next one. Third page is 1990 to present situation. Okay. Next, children, effects of green revolution. So here fertilizer problems and also water problem. So when we use more fertilizers, chemicals upon the crops, what will happen? That fertilizers goes into the crops. Okay. When the crop at the harvest time, it is inside of the seeds or food grains. So if the persons will take directly, it goes into the consumers. So it is effect to the human being also. Okay, children. Actually, what purpose we implemented these all fertilizers, chemicals, etc. to grow more crops in the fields. But what happened here? It is effect to the human being. Okay, children. But in our country, population is increasing. To meet this increasing population, we need food grains also. So that's why we are implementing these all methods in green revolution. Okay, in the fields. Okay, but we produced goods, but these goods are harmful to the consumers. Okay, children. So that's why we need to control these all things. Okay, children. Next, I want to show you some matter in this your textbook, children. Look, children, once here. So this is preparing for land for agriculture. So in the early time, the people cut down the trees and they will prepare the ground for agriculture activities, children. This is called shifting agriculture or Podu agriculture. So they will cultivate these land 2 or 3 years. After they will left this place and they will go and prepare another land, children. Okay. Next you come to the next page, children. Here districts also there. So what kinds of crops are growing in different states? Okay, paddy, wheat, maize, javaru, bajra, red grams, green gram, black gram, traditional, cotton, jute, groundnuts, soya bean, etc. Watermelon, muskmelon, etc. Cucumber, vegetables, fodder crops, etc. So look, children, here this is Tamil Nadu, this is Kerala, this is Andhra Pradesh, this is Telangana, this is Karnataka, this is Maharashtra, this is Gujarat, this is Madhya Pradesh, this is Uttar Pradesh, this is Rajasthan. Okay, here Punjab and these places are very important, children. Why? Because we implemented green revolution in these states.
Haryana and Punjab states. So that's why the groundwater level decreased tremendously. Okay, children, this is Jammu and Kashmir. So here look at Bihar, West Bengal, northern states. Okay, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, etc. Okay, children. So these are all our states. In these states, we are growing the crops. Okay. So the Green Revolution first implemented in Haryana, Punjab areas. After we extended this Green Revolution in remaining all states also. But the scientists found what are the effects about the Green Revolution to our using of fertilizers and chemicals, children. Okay, children. Next, children, here one table is one important matter is there. Look at high yielding varieties. High yielding varieties of seeds and fertilizers were the key elements of new agriculture technologies. The HIV's seeds grew well when fertilizers and water were used. They had larger amount of grain and shorter stalks and a short period maturity in most cases. The short period maturity also enables double cropping. Farmers can use their lands more than one in a year. This policy was initially implemented in Punjab, Haryana, West Uttar Pradesh, and in some districts of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. The HYV seeds required a lot of water, and these areas were already irrigated. The new variety of wheat was grown in Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh, while rice was growing in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Okay, children, I already discussed these all things. Now I want to explain to you about organic farming, children. In your textbook, the last page, you can find this matter, page number 71. Organic farming, the experience of a farmer in Odisha. In order to overcome the ill effects of Green Revolution, farmers in India have begun to adopt different farming practices. Let us look at an example. Aged 80, Natwar Bhai is a resident of Narishu village near Naili in Cuttack district, Odisha. He a retired school teacher. He has been practicing organic farming for the last decade or so and sways by its potential to feed India's population. He says some of the varieties that he grows yield over 20 quintals per acre, higher than the so-called high-yielding varieties that farmers around him get after using chemicals, fertilizers and pesticides. And he spends much less since his main inputs are gobar, natural pesticides when occasionally needed and family labor. Okay, children? Next, turn the page. Natwar Bhai was earlier a modern farmer. One day, while watching a laborer spray carbofuran, a highly toxic pesticide, he was horrified to see him stagger and collapse. Rushed for treatment, the worker survived, but now not Natwar Bhai's faith in the new agriculture, especially after the laborer told him, I could not breathe, my head was reeling, and especially after having buried the remaining stock of carbofuran in a pit in his field. Natwar Bhai saw dead snails, snakes, and frogs floating in the water that he accumulated there. I immediately wondered what would be happen to the earthworms and microorganisms that I knew kept the soil alive. Natwar Bhai switched to organ inputs, but with the high yielding varieties that them all, nothing down their names, characteristics and productivity. Okay, children? Next, look, children, why government buys and stores some food grains? A lot of food grains comes into the market at harvest time. One problem farmers faced was the low price of our grain during this time. This means farmers were not able to sell grains at a high enough price to be able to repay their loans and continue using the new farming methods. They need to be protected from traders who might try to purchase the grains at low prices. Therefore, the government decided to set a minimum support price MSP. A minimum support price is a price at which the farmer can sell their grains if they want to the government. The government sets the MSP so as to cover the cost of cultivation and allow a little bit of profit to the farmer. Because of the MSP, farmers are not forced to sell their grains at cheaper prices to the traders. The Food Corporation of India FCI was formed by the government to purchase food grains from the farmers and store them. It keeps stockpiles and supplies grains to ration shops and other government schemes such as for midday meals in schools. Okay, children, thank you.